So,
Yeah.
you are Tink. I am Will,
Oh, yeah.
and this
Yeah.
is the this is the
Dude,
West Side
way
Story
off.
Part One of our movie review. So, if you haven't known already, West Side Story has been uh, a story that's been portrayed many, many times. This is the remake of a 1961 movie, and then it's also been a
Yeah.
Broadway classic. It's a modern day, in my opinion, Romeo and Juliet. Right? Is that fair to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
Everybody says the same thing.
Yeah. The one from the 1960s was fairly problematic because the story is this white gang and a Puerto Rican gang, but in the 1960s everyone was white, and then you had white people pretending to be Puerto Rican. So yeah, you're like, oh, Maria, and then she's like, this white girl.
Her real name is Betty Sue or something. Nah.
Yeah. I forgot who it was, but at least this one they got Hispanics, but not really Puerto Ricans. I guess Steven Spielberg was like, close enough, right? I mean, what the fuck? So yeah, closer. So in another 50 years, maybe when they redo it again,
we'll have a like half Puerto Rican or something. We'll get there.
Let's see. Yeah, that was the big issue. Yeah, it was all like I'm trying to find a picture of them. Oh my god, I can't find it. Oh yeah, so this was
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I gotta show this anyway.
Yep.
So this was Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood played Maria in the original. So there you go.
Oh yeah, nice.
There goes your lead female Puerto Rican, star.
Wow.
Natalie Wood, Richard. But yeah. But I remember watching this in like high school.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that for a lot of high schools, in like literature, they try to show this movie off.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of themes and reoccurring like real life kind of things that we relate to. So like opposing gangs and being from opposing sides, and in Romeo and Juliet it was like the rich and the poor type deal, while here it's like just gangs, just gang violence, right?
Pretty much. I remember reading Romeo and Juliet and then watching the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet with John Leguizamo, and then also watching West Side Story. Those were like what we watched with the book. Oh my god, yeah. So Shakespeare,
right? Now, with this movie, it was kind of an easy one to kind of break down, very straightforward, and for the most part, you want to just jump into what we kind of liked about it.
Yeah, you want to watch the trailer? Well, I mean, we don't have to.
We can watch. Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad. Yeah, let's watch the trailer real quick. I'll give a little synopsis on what really happened in the movie. Yeah, and so it's a love at first sight kind of story that strikes a young Tony, who's the Caucasian male, spots a young Maria, who's part of the Puerto Rican squad, at a high school dance in New York City during the year 1957. So this is very outdated kind of stories and themes and things they talk about. This is a tough word. Their burgeoning romance, I hope I said that right, helps to fuel the fire between the Jets and the Sharks, which, wow, amazing names for gangs. Two rival gangs vying for control of the streets. That's always a story, right?
Yeah.
Gangs trying to take territories that they think they own. And there's a lot of cute scenes in here, like this one, where they're like behind like the bleachers trying to do their own thing by themselves and not be associated with their backgrounds. They try to get some alone time.
Yeah.
And And it's funny because this dance, what's his name? Tony didn't even want to go to the dance. He's on like probation or something. And so his parole officer's like, man, you can't go out anymore or whatever. And he's on parole or something. So he didn't even want to go to this dance. And he goes and finds love. Crazy. And he's trying to live a good life because he did something so bad to get on probation. And so story with Maria is she's like what, like just a quiet girl that has kind of her life predetermined for her. Like she's getting like, what do you call those? Like planned dates. Like she doesn't even get to choose who she gets to date.
Yeah, I mean it's not like an official like prearranged marriage kind of thing, but yeah, like her brother is like you have to be with Puerto Rican.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, I know a part in the movie he tells her, he's like, "Oh, you could date anybody you want as long as he's Puerto Rican." It's like, well,
it's not anybody, but good enough.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, so there's that. Yeah, man. I don't know what else.
Things that I liked in the movie, were, I guess my favorite scene is real sweet, and it also ties into something that I don't like about the movie, but we'll get into that in just a hot second. When Tony, he kind of like sees that he's like newly admiring Maria, he goes to his boss that he's working for, who's, thank you, Daniel.
Hey, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you for sharing the stream or liking the stream. He goes to his boss, who's a Puerto Rican, like neighborhood grandma, if you will. She's kind of watched all the kids grow up. She's like super old too. She's talking to him, and he asks her like, "Hey, can you teach me how to say these things in Spanish?" And they're like some cute like phrases that are real corny, but something like "you look so pretty," or like I don't remember what the hell he said, but it was
I think it was like I love you forever, or I want to be with you forever, or something.
I want to be with you
forever.
There you go. I want to be with you forever, which is like, whoa, you just met this girl. You for real? Thank you for sharing the stream. But
thank you, appreciate it.
I just thought it was nice that he's willing to go above and beyond to like express his ways that he feels for his girl. Now he was saying like, "Oh, I love her," and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, love was a pretty strong word, you know? But he was saying that, and I thought that was like a sweet moment. Another thing that I really, really liked or kind of stuck out to me is the scene. I mean, this is like a musical, right? They have a lot of singing scenes. So when the Jets, when they were in the police station and they're like locked in or whatever, because the cops like ran off to go deal with like another crime, and they were still dealing with, detaining the Jets at a certain time in the movie, and they're just like whatever for hours and hours, just chilling inside the police station, not even locked up or like chained up to anything. They're just free to roam around, which I was like, okay. And and man, I thought it was hilarious when the cops come back. They trash the whole place, like there's papers everywhere, all documents are just like. Just so bad. It looks like my son went through that room or something. I don't know, but
that was kind of funny.
This is funny to me. And then I guess my last thing, not that I didn't like this comment, but I felt like it's kind of relevant to today with how a lot of people feel, and I'm not saying it's true because it's not, but something a quote that kind of stood with me was when, who was it Gino or someone, when they were like, sooner or later the gringos kill everything. I was like, damn, that was deep. That was deeper than the movie even. Like, gringos referring to the Caucasian population. What is this?
Well, even like Valentina, she was the boss. But she had said she had married a white guy, so in the movie, so that's why it's like she was the boss lady, the older Puerto Rican lady.
Okay, yeah, boss lady.
Yeah. What is up, Randy? How you doing?
Hi, special shout out to Randy. She shared us on the Dead by Daylight community page.
Oh, thank
So
you, thank
shout
you.
out to you guys that are watching. Right now, we're talking about West Side Story movie review. We do all kinds of movies, usually blockbuster new releases, which just came out, and then
Yeah.
right after this, we're gonna fast forward and talk about. Well, more like rewind. We're going to talk about the first Spider-Man that ever came out because we're kind of prepping for the big Spider-Man movie that's coming out
Oh man,
this
I can't
Thursday.
Yay!
Woo!
wait. Yeah. got a cheer squad over there for Spider-Man. But yeah, man, let's finish this because I really want to talk about Spider-Man, which is kind of funny.
So those are my likes. What about you? What do you like about the movie?
I mean, it's a Spielberg movie. Like it's Spielberg's first musical that he's directed. I mean, visually, I mean, this thing looked amazing. I mean, it looked insane. The big scene right here. This is like the classic kind of scene when you think of West Side Story is out on the balcony, in the alley kind of thing. This looked amazing. The fight scene. The fight scenes were really like pretty well done. Like very iconic looking. Yeah, but even like someone like are they gonna show it? Them like looking in the I'm not gonna show it. The church scene with them. I mean, it looked gorgeous. It looked like a Steven Spielberg movie. The acting, I don't know. Like the acting wasn't bad, but I don't know if it's kind of a dislike and a like at the same time because it's like they have to pretend to be back in 57, I think 1950s.
Yeah,
and and I get it. It's just like at one point does it become trying too hard and it becomes like cringy, but it's like, was that how people were back then? I don't know. It's just like a whole weird thing with that. I thought the singing was amazing. Obviously it has to be with it. I don't know many of these actors in it. I'm assuming they have to be all big like Broadway kind of people. I know the girl who played Maria, Rachel Zegler. This is like her first like real movie, as a female lead. I think it's her first like movie, like real movie ever. So I think she was in like a YouTube movie thing before.
Oh, she was in shorts. Yep.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be in like something else like Shazam or something like that. But yeah, so is she? Yeah, but I mean, for her first role, I thought she did really really well. Because I think the big scene for Maria is for me at the end of the movie. She has her like moment. And I think she pulled that off really well. I'm like, I don't know if it's spoiling anything because I think most people in high school, when they did Shakespeare, they watched this movie, the original, from the 60s. I think this is definitely a better version at the very least. Like kids won't get too bored of it.
Yep.
But yeah, I always remember in high school, everyone always making fun of like sharks and jets and the stupid, finger snapping and all that stupid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
With their knife fight, and they're like just like poking at each other. It was like, what?
So dramatic.
Yeah.
There's holding.
So, yeah, but visually, I mean, this thing was visually awesome. But yeah, I mean, I didn't expect anything less than awesome from Steven Spielberg. But yeah, man, I mean, that's about it with my likes. Yeah, I mean, it looked great and sounded great. I mean, what else do you expect from a musical? I mean, the songs were I've heard them a million times. So "Want to Be in America" and stuff like that. So classic kind of songs. Either you love them or hate them. I think at this point. But you want to go into some of our dislikes?
Yeah, you go first. What really stood out to you to where you were like, wrong move, Spielberg?
I don't know. I mean, the acting,
You're good, Mom. You're good.
like trying so hard to be like you're in the 70s or 57 in the 50s. It was just like a little cringy. I don't know. Just the way they kind of just talked at parts. I was like, did people really talk like that? You know,
I
I
don't
was
think
like, I
so.
just kind of like, and that goes for like this the very like exaggerated Puerto Rican accent or the very exaggerated like like Italian, Polish, whatever like kind of accent that they had like back then was like a New Yorker kind of accent. It was just like very exaggerated and it was very like, eh, at times. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're remaking a '60s movie, with that. They're still trying to keep everything from there. They're not updating it for. So I
True.
think I wonder if he would have updated it to more modern times, would have been a little bit better. Like the same scenery as like In the Heights kind of thing, but then you start bringing in like
Mm.
the what more like the white people and then start the whole gang thing. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting rather than just rehashing the same thing that we've seen before. That was my thing. It was like it should have been more newer, like like even like 90s. Like 90s would have been cool. Like I mean, granted, it's not like
Mm.
it still would have been like 30 years old at this point, but I think that would have been a little bit more interesting than something from 1957.
That's fair.
I don't know. I just feel like that would have been it. It's just I've seen this movie before, like
Yeah.
legit. Like it just looks prettier. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was like my big thing. It was like I got a little bored with it because I'm like, I heard that song, I seen this scene before, so that was my thing. I don't know. What about you, man?
So I kind of want to piggyback off of one dislike that I agree with you, and that's the whole, putting this movie in a time capsule. Like, I don't believe that this was a 1960s movie. Like, throw in Pleasantville, put on Pleasantville, and they did a better version of capturing an older time in current day, in my opinion. Or a movie like, damn, like The Sandlot or something. Like they can do things to where they can really, give you that vibe from back then. I didn't really get that from
Mm-hmm.
here. I also think the chemistry between Maria and Tony wasn't so organic the way I tried to
Yeah,
envision a modern day. Like it was
yeah,
just like how you said, they were just regurgitating what was said in the 60s version, and it wasn't even done well. Like, even when Tony, in the very beginning, right, when Tony veers off, he wasn't even supposed to go to this party. He meets up with Maria, and like, they kiss so suddenly, and she was the one to do that, which was like, okay, power move, right? And a lot of times back in the days, women were not the aggressors when it came to, engaging in intimate settings. So it was interesting to see her pull the first move. Did she do that in the 60s version?
I don't remember. I don't
Yeah, it's
remember
such
that.
a crazy detail. I don't know, but I will say that rubbed me the wrong way. And then, like, kind of going back to what I said earlier about the grandma boss lady, when Tony
Valentina.
was trying, yeah, when Tony was trying to get some like some translation for these like cheesy lines he was gonna say to Maria, he used the word love, and I'm like, love, my guy. Like I appreciate the the energy and whatnot, but you don't love this girl, man. You don't even know her. You don't even know her. There was, for me, and knowing how movies are done today, story wise, I would have wanted to see a little bit more, even as long as this movie was, right? 2 hours and some amount of minutes. I don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was long,
Two and
and
a
they
half.
couldn't just 2.5 hours. They couldn't just include like a little bit more building up, to that like love that would make it more believable that these two would care about each other more than their respective backgrounds, because it was
Yeah,
weird. It made it weird for
yeah.
me, and like kind of took me out the movie when I noticed that ooh, spoiler, when something tragic happens later in the movie, Maria like should have been pissed at Tony, like, what the, and she was for half a second, and then,
Yeah.
oh, but I still love you, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So it rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, what's that about? It
Yeah.
just felt fake. It felt too much like a Broadway musical rather than a movie, just for the chemistry. The acting was like subpar. Maybe it was okay, but not for everyone. So a few characters really shined in this movie, and then some like were just super forgettable.
Yeah,
Like
big time.
who the hell was forgettable?
The guy, like at the end of the movie that did the big thing. I can't even but not
Chino.
Bernardo. Yeah, Chino. Was it Chino?
I don't know if it's Chino or it is Chino. Chino. Yeah, he
Chino.
didn't. He lacked like either lines, maybe delivery. I don't know. He probably should have had more lines, low key. Like not a lot more, but he should have some kind of intent for like the thing he did, or I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I didn't see any jealousy or like any motives to come out of
Yeah.
like the drastic ending that came from this. So I was like, huh? Like I get it, when supposedly you're in a gang, right? And someone, you know, injures your homie, you're supposed to go after that opponent, right? The other gang, that rival gang. And I get that, right? This being a gang on gang movie, but it felt so forced, that part. I didn't believe these were two
Yeah.
gangs, especially with a name like Jets and Sharks. They couldn't update that.
Well, that's the thing. No, they didn't update anything. It was just the same thing that we've seen before,
Yeah.
just shinier.
Mhm.
But going back to Maria and Tony, they didn't seem to have this the chemistry. That I don't think there was just like something missing between them. Like I don't know. Like you can tell when there's like good on screen chemistry between two people.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, the guy who played Ansel Eglarat. I can't even pronounce his name. I don't even know where he's from. I mean, looking at his his past stuff. Baby Driver was the big one, and The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay.
He was in Goldfinch, so he's been in some like pretty big movies. So
Yeah.
I mean, like Baby Driver was a pretty popular movie before what's his name got canceled. But yeah, I mean, Fault in Our Stars was like kind of a big one too. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't see a good like interaction between them two. I don't know. I mean, it just kind of was. It seemed like it was just going through the paces rather than making its own footing. Like
Yeah.
that was like how I feel. You want to go into our ratings for this one?
Sure. Let me spit this out as quick as I can. So, over here at the Nerd Huddle, us two spoiler kings rate movies a little bit differently than how you're used to. So, our system that you can see down below, we have a 3-tier system. So, we either rate this movie a watch now, a watch later, or a watch never. A watch now means that you got to drop everything and watch this movie right away because it's that much priority and it's that good. A watch later means it's okay, maybe put it on the back burner, watch it when it comes out streaming or something. And then a watch never means don't give this movie any time of day. Do not give your movie money because it's that bad. But with that being said, how do you rate this movie?
So I'm gonna give this remake of West Side Story probably a later. I mean, if you love the story and you love the original, I mean, you'll definitely love this one, like without a doubt. I don't know. I just got a little bored of it at certain times, and I don't know if it's just because the songs you heard a million times in your life, so it was like, I mean, how many Family Guys made fun of it, South Park, Simpsons, they all made fun of like all these songs, at least the very popular ones. So it's like I've heard it. I heard the parodies. I heard the goofs and the spiffs and spoofs off of it. Like, so it was just boring at parts. I mean, that was just kind of my thing, but it was also like pretty good, like good to watch, good to look at. The songs were well done. It's just I've heard them before. So I don't know. I mean, that's the kind of thing when you remake a classic. It's kind of like it's what else can you add to it besides making it look prettier? With the new technology. But yeah, I'll give it a later. I think it's worth a watch. When you got some time on the weekend, maybe even wait till it comes on streaming. I think that might be the way to go. What about you, man?
So for the West Side Story 2021 movie that just came out, I'm gonna have to rate this movie a watch later, and it's borderline watch never.
Oh
um,
wow.
yeah. So maybe it's my bias kind of coming out. I'm not one to really, and I know we've done a few of them, but I'm not one to really dig musicals just in
Yeah.
general because the whole stopping the storyline so we can. I mean, I know the music's supposed to progress the storyline, but in this one, I didn't feel like that. I did not feel like that. I
Yeah.
felt like the movie was paused every time a song would come. I'll be okay, cool song. Let me pull out my phone real quick. No, I'm kidding. I'd probably get kicked out of the theater if I did that. But just the fact that it was in theaters only, and I know we're trying to get back to normalcy, but I'm kind of liking the idea of maybe paying a premium or something so I can watch it at home when a brand new movie comes out. I really like that idea because I get to be in my couch or in my bed watching, on my big screen TV. And yeah, so I'm going to give this movie a later for sure.
Yeah.
Borderline never, just for the fact it's a
Really never-
musical. It was done okay. Singing was okay. Like nothing really bothered me so much in the movie other than the fact that they didn't do anything new. It just looked nice. I totally agree with what you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got Erica saying watch it never as well because I hate it. LOL. So Erica
bet, huh?
hates. Yeah, she hates this one, man. I know she like because she was like, I don't want to watch this. Yeah, it's like
Damn.
yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Romeo and Juliet story. So all the different variations of the story, I'm usually not much of a fan for. I did like the Romeo what's that? I forgot which one with the Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Just because it was different. Like it took the Shakespeare lines and they made it in the modern ish times, and it was really cool. It was really that was different. I was like, that's cool. But it was still Shakespeare, still Romeo and Juliet.
Of course.
Yeah, this is we've all seen it in high school. Here's just a new version for your son to see when he goes in high school. I'm sure he's gonna watch this version of it. Yeah,
I had to think about that. He probably is.
yeah. So we're both going later. You're going never. Erica went never. So not fans. But are we all wrong? Because on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave this thing high ratings. So Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, which is the critics, gave it a 93%. Huge. And then the audience score gave it a 95. That is big. Those are like, wow. Really? Both numbers in the 90s. I don't think we've seen that many movies that critics and audience both loved it. But something like this, I knew the audience was going to love it because the people that are going to go see it a few times are probably the people who love this story. The critics, I'm not too surprised that the critics love it because it's Steven Spielberg. So everyone's got to, love everything he does. Otherwise you're not a real critic, type of thing. So I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, but for what it's worth, I don't know if audience and critics both love it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
93? Did I see 90?
93. That's what yeah. Well, here's one critic from the bullseye.com. He gave it a bad score. He said West Side Story isn't terrible, but it doesn't accomplish what it's clearly intended to do, landing with a dull thud on the big screen. Yeah.
It's a fair statement.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll if you like it, you're gonna like it. I mean, I don't think whatever anybody thinks. If you like the first one, you're definitely gonna like this one. So, but yeah, man. I don't know anything else before we move on.
Nah, that's it for me. I just and I guess the question we always ask too is, since we've watched it so far, would you watch it again?
Probably not. This version probably not. I mean, maybe if like I go to my parents' house and she wants to watch it, I doubt it. I'm like, oh, whatever. But I don't see myself watching it again. I mean, yeah. I don't know. What about you?
No, not at all. I would not be seeing this movie
You're like,
again.
nope.
If I see it come up on streaming or I see it coming up on my cable box, I'm flipping the channel instantly.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It's just it ain't what I want to see. I don't know. It ain't my cup of tea.
Yeah. I know we're both not musical fans, this is what, like our fourth musical or something. Better than Evan Hansen. Way better than Evan Hansen.
Forget that was a musical.
Yeah.
So bad.
It was so bad.
So bad. Wow. I forgot that was a musical. Yep.
I mean, compared to the other musicals, but way better than Evan Hansen. Was it how was it with compared to what was the other one that we did? In the Heights.
In the Heights. Oh, so I actually like In the Heights compared to this one. In the Heights, compared to this one, that one did it for me. That one really was more relatable. It was more modern. The story flowed nice. Not that this one didn't, but that one hit the right mark, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought right there with you, man. I thought it was just plus the music. Lin-Manuel Miranda always makes amazing musical kind of stuff. I don't think we did. I'm just trying to see if we did any other musicals. I think that's about it.
Didn't we do the Pixar one? Wasn't that a musical, or was that not?
I mean, I guess, but Disney's always our musical. I mean, Luca, Encanto. I mean, they're musicals, but they're not like Broadway turn into musical, turn into movie kind of thing. Like those we done 3, but yeah, better than Evan Hansen. Not as good as In the Heights. So I don't know. Agreed. For the big musicals that came out this year, that's kind of our ranking. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching live, make sure you hang out with us. We are gonna do our next video. It's gonna be talking about Spider-Man from 2002, which is gonna be awesome. But if you're watching our replay, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. And
later.
Let's